Okay, this is me attempting to try to do a better, cleaner video of, I think I'm just doing a drum pattern tutorial. It was requested by someone in the chat there, so I'm going to attempt it. Already the screen is clearer to look at, so this is a project that I've been already working on. So the audio is not direct in. I'm doing a different setup. I'm using my iPad mini. I'm trying the best this way, so it's going through my speakers. Every time you load up the unit, when you hit rhythm, it automatically goes back to the starting sample drum set. So you have to always scroll backwards to get to your custom ones, which the custom one starts at 472. So that's a pattern that I made. Pretty much, I leave all these settings the same. I haven't been touching anything. I was playing around with the pad rule, the 1/16, but that's default. And currently I've been just using that, and it's been fine. The only thing I change is like the bar length. So if I hit record, we'll just look in this track. So what we can see here is one bar. And so if I play it, play it, 1 bar, 2 bar, 1 bar, 2 bar. And so I'm gonna look around in it. So there's the toms in the first bar at the end. As you move through it, it plays what you have. And there's the toms for that roll at the end. And the lighter colored ones, just the outline guys, those are just soft hits, and then the solid one is like a hard hit. So I give it that kind of swelling sound. And all what you do in here is you would pick 472 and it would be blank. You'd hit record and you just press enter, use the arrow keys and press enter to put in whichever drums you want. You can use the things at the bottom for a quick reference, or it's okay to, let's just pick a line here and press enter. So that's a ride, that's a crash, that's a hi-hat, open and closed hi-hat, and then if we didn't like that, we just hit delete. Now, one glitch does definitely happen, and I have no idea why. If you ever see one of these things turn into an X, you can't delete it, and it's always there. I have no idea what that is, but unfortunately, I would have to just redo the pattern if an X shows up, because I have no idea how to get rid of it, and I have no idea how I put it there in the first place. So that's a little bit of a look at pattern, how you make a rhythm pattern. And then when you're done, you hit stop, and then you'd hold a sign, and you would put it to one of your tracks. Now the way I do things is my guitars are in the first tracks, and the last tracks I try to use for drums. So you hold a sign and you press the according button down here for whatever drum track you want it to be. But since I'm done with that, back at the main screen, you hit this button to make sure that track sequencer is on. So my track sequencer was already on. I just turned it off, turn it on. Then I hit track, and I usually hit track 8. I don't think it matters. You can leave it on whatever track it's on. So to simplify things, doesn't matter, hit track button, go into track sequence, and there's my stuff. So I'm starting with 7 and putting some spaces in there. So this is kind of interesting because if I hit record, so the same way as making a drum track, what you're doing here is you're setting up your patterns. You're like, okay, well, I want 7 to play once, and then I want a blank space. Now, how I get that blank space, I'll just show you over here. So I press enter to put that in there. But what you can do, which is really cool, is just delete the end half of it. And now it turns into, you're just playing the first bar. So this was a drum thing created as a 2-bar, but you can delete the end, so I can only, I could just play the first bar. So I creatively try to do that sometimes because I like the first part, and then sometimes at the end for the change up, I let it play the whole 2 bars to add a little bit of variety using just one drum track. So then it plays for 4-ish bars. Yeah, it plays for 4, and then switches into track 8, whatever that drum pattern is. And this is how you build your song. You put the drum patterns together, and you just kind of, it's like a roadmap of your song, basically. And then I have lots of dead space in there. And then the drums kick back in. So I'm just going to stop that, exit. Yeah, so that's a little bit of looking at the patterns for drums. Not really explaining too much. My other video probably went into it better. Purpose of this video is you can see the screen a lot clearer. Hopefully that helps. So I'll go ahead and I'll just play that again. And if you want to hear those tracks by themselves, so that was my first track. That's kind of like the chorus track-ish. And that's what I use for the intro. And I just, in the pattern editor, when I'm laying out the roadmap of my song, I'm just cutting off this second part. So I'm just keeping the dun dun. And that's just that little changeover. So I'm kind of still working on this project. I'm not sure. It's weird how I do things. Oh my goodness, I haven't played guitar in a while, so I decided, before I go to bed, I'll play guitar for a bit. Boom, came up with a song. And I was like, oh crap. And so I worked on it a little bit, like maybe an hour. And then I woke up in the morning and I finished it. And the hardest part for me is laying down the drums, because I'm not a drummer. I am a guitar player. Rhythm guitar player. Yeah, so the drums can be challenging, for sure. The way I need to do a video from scratch again to show you everything that goes into it, because you can start with just one beat. One simple beat. Doesn't matter if it's a sample or whatever, just start with one beat and just play guitar. Just enjoy yourself, play guitar, come up with your things, and then build all your drum tracks. Because once I have my guitars in there, that's exactly what I do. Like, I will go back and forth, and I'll be like, okay, so I know my main riff, let's try to get a drums for the main riff, and then we just keep changing it, and as you build the song, I can just play it over and over again, and listen to my drums with my guitars, and make sure the drums are on time, and make sure the drums are where I want them to be, or add like toms here, or ride here, or whatever the case is. So it's a lot of just back and forth, hearing what sounds good. That's how I do it, because I'm not technical with the drums. I don't, I'll sit there and I'll listen to one of my riffs, and I'll be like, yeah, it would be cool if there was a couple tom beats here and a ride here. So I just start with that, and then you can slowly add in some more things. As you can see, I mean, this thing is just some kicker, so it's not too exciting, but it works, and that's what I like too. Just keeping it simple sometimes is really effective. So that's it, and thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps you. This is the whole point of all of this. I would love to try to help people create music and get started. Music's very important. I'm going through a little bit of a shitty time myself, and these kind of hobbies is very important to keep us going. So, thanks again. Take care.